Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly update. Merry Christmas. There are a lot of fish that have come in this week. We doubled up because of the holidays, so hopefully we've got a lot of things that you haven't seen that both Reagan and our little kibble will be showing you very shortly. Let's just get on to the update.
Hi everyone, it's Reagan here with Fishy Business. I'm going to show you my top picks for fish this week. I got in my favorite tang in the entire ocean, and I got in my favorite trigger of the entire ocean. So I can't wait to point those guys out for you because they are my favorites, but I have a lot of other things that I'm going to show you as well. So let's go see. Alright guys, this is my favorite tang in the entire ocean. This is Aquarius DUSSUMIERI, or the DUSSUMIERI tang. I'm going to go ahead and just move this rock so that we can take a really good look at him. So DUSSUMIERI tangs do get very, very large. They reach over 1.5 feet, about 1 foot 10 inches is where they max out, so they do get big. If you look at his mouth, it is designed to eat crabs and snails and shrimp. So yes, they're reef safe in the sense that they won't touch your coral. And as juveniles, they really don't go after your inverts, but as adults, the DUSSUMIERI tang will go after. You can already see him picking at the sand. But this guy is absolutely stunning. It is a pretty rare fish to have in the aquarium trade. Not a lot of people have the DUSSUMIERI tang. This one's already colored up, very nice. It's beautiful with that white line on his tail and the bright golden yellow dorsal fin that you see up top that he's fanning out really nicely. Favorite tang in the entire ocean. Definitely look them up as adults because their color is just even brighter. So also in the same tank as the DUSSUMIERI tang is this TWISTII wrasse, or yellow-breasted wrasse. It can go by either name. This guy gets about 7-8 inches in total size and needs a finer, thick substrate so that he can bury himself at night. You'll notice that he does have that yellow breast, which is it is how he gets his name. He's got little blue polka dots all over his body, and he's got 2 really nice dark blue eye spots, one on his anal fin and one on his dorsal fin, which worked as a form of camouflage to help distract predators from eating them. The TWISTII wrasse will pick at benthic invertebrates in your sand bed, worms, things like that. As juveniles, you can keep multiple ones together, but as they mature, they will start fighting with each other. And as they mature as well, this guy will also nip at some of your invertebrates, crabs, shrimp, and snails. But either way, both of these fish, and you can see the DUSSUMIERI again right there, they're getting along great and they will do very well together. Alright guys, so this is my favorite trigger. This is Rhinacanthus verrucosus, or the BURSA triggerfish. This guy does look somewhat similar to the Picasso trigger because he has those straight bars in between his eyes, and he's got those blue lips as well. This guy has a black spot on the back part of his body and that beautiful red line that runs from his mouth back to his pectoral fins. BURSA triggers do get fairly large. These guys reach sizes of about 9 to 10 inches, so not as big as some of your other triggers, but definitely still larger. This guy will absolutely pick on crabs, shrimp, and snails, so any inverts you have in your tank. I've kept a lot of triggerfish because you guys know they are my favorite type. And the BURSA triggers, I typically don't see any real aggression with. I've never really seen a very aggressive BURSA. I'm sure there's one out there, but in my expert opinion, I don't think that they are one of the more aggressive. So I typically put them with other fish, even tangs and smaller peaceful fish, and I haven't had a problem with it. BURSAs, like most triggers, will need that meaty diet, as well as clams on the half shell and harder things to wear down their teeth. Alright guys, so this is the LUNAR wrasse, or the moon wrasse. These guys are a large-bodied wrasse. They do not play well with other wrasses, so definitely keep the LUNAR wrasse by himself. They will also bury any type of wrasse. I do recommend having a softer, thicker substrate just so that they do have the option of burying themselves. This guy is gorgeous in color. He's got that nice green face with the pink stripes. He's got that really nice blue body and that pink and blue and purple fins. He's just a super colorful wrasse, and they get even bluer and more colorful as they age. Now, LUNAR wrasses are a wrasse that will pick at some of your sessile invertebrates, but they will leave coral and most of your invertebrates alone. A lot of people do keep these in reef tanks, but to keep the LUNAR wrasse, I would personally recommend, I think he will do better in a fish only. But for the color and the price point, there's not a whole lot of wrasses you can find that are prettier than the LUNAR. All right guys, so this is a striped dog face puffer. They do get very large, over a foot in size, so this is another big fish for bigger tanks. He is a predator. He is not aggressive. He is a predatory fish. This guy in particular really loves crab clusters. He loves clams on the half shell, and he also really likes the chunky LRS foods. Striped dogface puffers will munch on any shrimp, any crab, and any snail that you have in your tank, so definitely a fish-only tank would work better for this guy, but striped dogface puffers, puffers in general, have really good personalities, and you can see he's right up in the front of the glass wanting to show off for us. You really aren't going to find a fish that has more personality than a puffer. Alright, so this is a fish that I don't get in very often. This is a bicolor angel. Now, bicolor angels are a dwarf angel species, so they only get, you know, just a few inches in size. He might double in size, but he won't get much bigger than that. Now, you're not going to find a fish that is split down the middle, half one color, half another color, the same color on the front half on his tail, and the same color on the back half on his face. This is a fish that is crazy that Mother Nature ever created a fish that looks like this. You aren't going to find another fish colored this way. So if you love the cobalt blue and bright mustard yellow of the bicolor angel, definitely you're going to want to put him in your tank. He will be a star piece in your tank. That being said, it is an angel, so it will nip on softer corals. It is their diet, and he will 100% do it. So a fish-only tank would work best for this guy, but like I said, he will be the star of your tank with that coloration and pattern. Alright guys, so this is the pink-tailed triggerfish. This one is in line with the red tails and blue jaws in that they are one of the more quote-unquote reef-safe triggers. These guys very rarely go after inverts and things like that, and they don't mess with coral, and they are not an aggressive triggerfish. I trust a pinktail, me personally, with almost any other fish, whether it be anthias, green chromis, other tangs, it doesn't matter. I trust a pinktail not to be aggressive and to just live peacefully with even other community type fish. This guy will stand out beautifully in a gorgeous, colorful reef tank because he is jet black and gray with beautiful yellow pectoral fins, gold on his mouth, clear translucent anal and dorsal fins, and a beautiful, beautiful baby light pink tail. The starkness of this guy over your brightly colored corals would be absolutely stunning. These guys can live in a reef tank, obviously, like I've said, as well as a fish only. Alright guys, so this is the biggest melanurus wrasse that I have ever seen in the time that I have been keeping fish. Their scientific name is Halicoaries melanurus. This guy is full grown for a melanurus wrasse. He's not getting any bigger than this. He really has nice blues and oranges and greens and yellows. All the colors in this guy have really, really matured very nicely as he has gotten big as well. Melanurus wrasses are very easy to keep. They are a very hardy fish. They are great in reef tanks as they do eat pesky worms and things out of your sand bed, but they also work well in fish-only tanks. Melanurus wrasses are one of Chuck's top picks for a wrasse, and I typically always try to keep them in the store because you cannot go wrong with one in any type of tank that you have. And this one, like I said, is the biggest one I've ever seen. So if you'd like a large melanurus wrasse in your tank, this is definitely a showstopper.
Hi, this is Kevin. We'd like to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas from everybody here at Fishy Business first and foremost. Now, since you've got your beautiful freshwater tank that you want everybody to see when they come over to visit, make sure you've got it properly stocked. We've got a lot of freshwater items to help you stock your tank properly, get a couple more colorful fish in there before you have all the company come over. Two fish in particular that came in looking really stellar would be the REDFIN borellis and the morais that we got in too. Also called a dolphin because the males get more of a hump on the head and swim very much like a dolphin. They would be excellent varieties to go in with your peacock cichlids They're not as aggressive as the Mabunas in general and get about the same size. We got in some very nice looking KRIBENSES, which are one of my personal favorite dwarf cichlids. They are a more aggressive dwarf cichlid than your rams and such. They do best with semi-aggressive fish like tiger barbs and stuff like that. The females are actually more colorful than the males are in this variety of fish, which is unusual for a lot of these cichlids. But the female is a lot more colorful than the male in general. They do best in mated pairs. One of my all-time favorites for some awesome turquoise coloration in the tank. These are platinum green tiger barbs. One of my favorite schooling fish that you can get. An interesting color more for the regular tiger barb. If you're looking for some really good starter fish to start your cycle going in your tank, SILVERTIP tetras are an awesome choice. They're beautiful goldfish, interesting pigmentation on the tail, giving it a little flag on the tail. More excellent starter fish. This is one of my personal favorites for the purpose. These are red SERPAE tetras, beautiful schooling fish. As you can see, they're swimming around some beautiful pieces of driftwood we recently got in. When you come in, you'll see driftwood in almost every freshwater tank. It's pretty much all for sale at a reasonable price, already waterlogged and ready to go. These are some beautiful cichlids that would also be very good to go with your peacock cichlids if that's what you have. These are the VC10 Malomo cichlids. Type of Haplochromis, gets pretty good size, excellent color. We also have in some snow white parrots, an interesting white counterpart to the blood parrot. Very closely related to a blood parrot. They use the gene from a pink convict to get a more round-bodied fish, as well as they don't have funny-looking shaped heads quite so much as the regular blood parrot does. They can close their mouths. One of my favorite, all-time favorite cory cats are the STERBAI cories. These STERBAIs are also tank raised. They look excellent. Really cool looking little cory because they've actually got a little bit of color. They got a little splash of orange on their little pectoral fins. Really cute little fish. We got in some very cute calico telescopes. I've always been a fan of the calico color varieties because they all look different from each other regardless of the type of fish. But with the telescopes, often they've got black eyes, and I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for a buggy-eyed goldfish. Especially when they're black-eyed. It's just too cute. We have in some nice looking young POLYPTERUS senegalis. These little guys will get over a foot long, and they will eat anything that will fit in their mouth. They are a cute little predatory fish. Cute only when they're little. They get bigger and they get mean, but that's part of the appeal for me personally. We got in some really nice looking South American needlefish. Needlefish are a type of garfish. They're one of the smallest types of gars, a dwarf gar if you will, seldom reaching over 10 inches in captivity. They can be fussy little eaters, so they do prefer live food to trigger their eating habits properly. We've got in some really nice looking exceptional Endler's live bearers. Endlers are a type of guppy. They're smaller than their fancy counterparts and don't get quite the same finnage, but the color is brilliant all the way through the body. We always want to point this fish out because it's in such high demand. We actually got a decent amount of these beautiful little autosynclus algae eaters in. This is one of the most prized nano fish that you can get for eating algae off of your live plants and leaving your plants alone. It's been a very tough issue trying to get this particular fish in lately. We've got in quite a few at the moment. This is an unusual thing to see in the store. This is a large Fahaka puffer. We got him in Ryan's plant tank right now, so he has plenty of room to swim around. He's also going to eat a lot of the snails for Ryan, I'm sure.
Few more days left for the giveaway. Last little thing I want to say, bring in a canned good. You've still got time to win this 120. There are still very few entries into the competition. So if you've got time, if you're not in school or not working this week, come down, bring a canned good, get entered to win the competition. Very easy and very a lot to win, and you're doing a good thing whether you win or not. So all that to say, thank you for a wonderful year. God bless, and we'll see you next week.